Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video we're going to talk about instance vs class variables and see what are the difference between these two items, and we're going to create and code mini project of bank account at the end that you will see how objects and classes works in real life. At the first, we're going to create our class, of course, which if you're not familiar with classes and objects, you should watch the previous part first and then come to this one. So here we got this bank account class right here. Of course, here we're going to have our constructor and init function right here. And here we're going to have the self, then our parameters and attributes, which in our case is going to be this owner at first, and then the balance. And for the balance, we want the default value of 0 right here. Then inside of this item, we're going to have these two lines to set the owner and balance of the object to these variables that we passed right here. And then here we're going to have another function with the name of info right here, which here we're going to have the self, of course, and inside of this, we're going to use the simple print of our f string, and we're going to say the self.owner has self.balance in account. And now if we come here below of our class and let's create some objects. For example, we got this account 1, we equal that with our bank account, of course, and here we can have some users. For example, the first one is going to be this Tom. Let's say he got $100, and let's say we got another object of account 2 right here, and here again we got this bank account, but this time the name is going to be this Alice, for example, and then let's say she got $200. And now if we want to use our info function, which we declared right here, we simply are going to use this acc1.info. And now if we run our code, you can see we got this result of Tom has 100 in account. And as well as this, we can have this number 2 to run. And again, we got this Alice has 200 in the account. But let's say we want to declare and show the bank's name in the class and objects too. Of course, we can have this self.bankName, and we equal that, for example, with this Python bank. And by having this, if we want to show that to our user, so here we got this account 1, and if we use this bank name and print this item, you can see if we run, we got this Python bank. And if we got this account 2 instead of account 1, if we run again we got this Python bank. And actually, these are our instance variables, which are the variables that creating when we create some objects. But in some cases, we want to have this kind of fixed value in our objects and classes, and for that, it's good to use class variables instead of those instance variables. And the way that we're going to create that, here inside of our bank account and class view and scope, we're going to declare our variable. For example, in our case, it's going to be this bank name. And here, we equal that with our value, which in this case, again, it's going to be this Python bank. And now if we update this because it's lowercase this time, if we run this, you can see we got error because we need to make this n uppercase too. Now if we clear our output and run again, you can see we got this Python bank. And if we change this to account 1 and run again we got this Python bank right here. And if we want to change this item, for example, let's say here we want to change the name of this bank name. If we use this acc1.bankName and equal that with this test, for example, if we come here and again print both of our objects bank name, so we got this account 1 bank name, and as same as this, we got this account 2 bank name. If we run this program, you can see at the first one is going to be this test, but second one is going to be this Python bank. And to fix this, what we can do is instead of using this object's name, we use the name of our class, which in this case is going to be this bank account. Now if we clear again and run, you can see both of them has been changed to this test, because when we're creating this, it's going to be this Python bank for both of these objects. But when we change the bank name of class bank account to this test word right here, it's going to rename all of the bank name variables in all of the objects for us. And because of that, in both of our account 1 and account 2, we got this new value. And these are called class variables, which basically class variables are the variables shared between of the objects, and instance values are the values and variables for only that specific object, and it's not going to be shared between other objects. And another cool real-world example of this type of variables and class variables is showing the total number of accounts. So I'm going to put the name to this total accounts, and we equal that with the 0 at first. Then here in our constructor, when we want to create some object and account, we're going to grab this item right here and add one to this one. But if we use the self.total_account, it's going to do that for only one object. For example, here, if we use this and use this plus equal right here and this one, you can see we got two items. If we get rid of these items right here and we don't need to change this item again, let's say instead of those, we got this print of our class of bank accounts total accounts. If we run this, you can see it got this 0. But you know, when we created these items, we added to this item. But if we check this account 1 and run again, we got this value of 1 as well as this account 2, and if we run this, we got this value of 1 again. Because when we're using the self, it's going to refer to only the object, and the total accounts variable inside of this object is going to be number 1. So instead of using self here, again here, we're going to use the name of our class, which in this case again is this bank account. And this time if we clear our output and run again, you can see we got two number of accounts. And if we got another account right here, for example this account number 3, we equal that with our class name here, and we created one other for the John, for example, and let's say he got $500. If we run again, you can see this time this is number 3 for the total accounts. And the next thing that we're going to talk about, you know that we got the simple functions that we can work with the self keyword and instance values right here. But if we want to do something with our class variables, what we need to do is here, instead of creating that kind of simple and basic function, we're going to use this @ sign here and then use this class method. And then below this, we're going to create our class method and class function, which this item works on the class itself and let us update or work with class level data. The example for this is, let's say we want to print something using these two items. So here we're going to have this def, and we got this name of bank info for our function. But pay attention, the difference between of this class method and regular method is here, instead of using the self like this one, we're going to use the CLS keyword. And then inside of this, we can have whatever that we want. For example, let's say we want to have again this simple print of this F string, and here we're going to say the name of the bank. So we got this curly braces, then we got the CLS.bank name, then we got this has, and again we got this CLS.total accounts, number of accounts. And now here we got 3 accounts. If we get rid of this print, and let's say here we want to have simply this bank account dot bank info for our function. If we run this, you can see we got this function runs and tells to us Python bank has 3 number of accounts. So at the end, for the recap, we got these two items as our instance variables, which are going to be different for each of our accounts right here, and they're going to be only for the object and not for the class. Then we got these class variables, which these one are going to be shared between all of our objects, and all of them are going to have these values, and we can work with these items. And then we got our regular method and function right here to use our instance variables, and we got our class method right here, which just got the CLS instead of the self, and we can use this to target class variables instead of these variables, and we can work with those items and class level too. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and for those of you that don't know, this was part of our Python crash course, so make sure to turn on the notification bell to be aware of the next videos coming up. See you in the next one.